Okay, moving from Kambalda to Guinea in West Africa, Andrew Pardy is the Managing Director of Predictive Discovery. Andrew's so excited to be here. He's travelled all the way from Jersey in the Channel Isles. Andrew's an experienced geologist and he's got extensive experience in Africa. He's actually worked at the two major gold mines in Guinea where Predictive is exploring. I was talking to Andrew the other night. He tells me his favourite sport's swimming. But he's been struck down in his prime with a dislocated shoulder, so doesn't get in the pool as much. But likes to watch the Commonwealth Games, no doubt. But look, welcome Andrew to the stage. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much for the introduction, and it's nice to be back in Kalgoorlie. I left Kalgoorlie over 20 years ago and headed off overseas, initially to West Africa, to Guinea, then a period of time in Egypt, then across through into the UK. Now, here I am back in Guinea after all those years, and we've got West Africa's latest new 4.2 million ounce gold project in Guinea. Just before I go into it, I'd just like to say thank you for the warm welcome we received from the traditional owners of this land in Kalgoorlie. That was very nicely put, and I just want to say thank you as well for that. I'm not going to read this. It's on the presentation, it's on the website, but this is all the disclaimers, etc., that you can go through in your own time if you wish. Okay, just a quick overview. We have all the ingredients for a Tier 1 gold mine here in Guinea. We've got a market cap of just over $400 million. We've basically, Predictive Discovery is growing up. We've introduced added more members to the board of directors, and we've also increased our management team. The resource has gone from 0 to 4.2 million inferred ounces in 22 months, and on Monday we put out a resource update for North East Bankan, which lifted it from 3.3 million to 3.9 million ounces, and most importantly as well, it went from a grade of 1.55 to a grade of 1.65, and also using an $1,800 gold price. Basically all the resource optimisation took that resource out. We've announced the first initial small underground resource below that pit of 44,000 ounces. And we're always talking about increases at Predictive, and we've actually got a typo. If you read that line, it's got strategy to increase, aggressively increase, because we are always talking about increases. And we have straightforward, simple CIL type metallurgy with up to 50% gravity recovery of the gold. I've talked a little bit this, but we're covered by Paul over there, Argonaut, Sprott, Stifel, Liberum, Euros, Hartleys, etc. We've got cash in the bank of over $57 million. We just recently completed a raise, and when we opened that book, we were severely oversubscribed. We were looking to raise around $40 million, and that book opened in a couple of hours. We had $132 million on the book. So we had to do a significant haircut and ended up taking $55 million. And of that, BlackRock, who don't normally participate in a company at this stage, put in $20 million. As I said, we've restructured. We've got a new board basically in place. Simon Jackson, Jacko, as a lot of you probably know, Simon joined as a non-exec chairman in October. I joined in April last year as a non-executive director and transitioned through at the end of the year, the start of this year, into the executive role. Sandra Bates has just recently been appointed to the board as well as a non-executive director. Sandra is a lawyer originally from Australia but is now living in the UK, but is obviously very strong on the legal side, but also importantly on the ESG side of things. Then we have Stephen Michael on that board as well as an NED. And then the management team, I've built up the management team because we're going to take this project forward, so it's important to have the key people in at the right time. And importantly, I have Maliatu Baldi. She's a geo from Guinea. She worked with me at Seguri many, many years ago, then went overseas and worked for BHP across Australia, through the US and elsewhere, then came back and worked for Mark Bristow for a period of time, and then spent the last 6 years working as a technical advisor to the government of Guinea on mining and exploration. So she's the face of the company in Guinea. Pierre Lowe has joined us. He used to be a CFO with me at Centamin. Again, knows Africa. Pierre and I first met years and years ago when we were Ashanti and Anglo-Ashanti. Andre Peters has recently joined us as our ESG manager. Andre was previously an ESG manager for one of the bauxite miners in Guinea and was monumental in excising an area from a core zone of a national park. Norm Bailey, again, worked with me previously at Centamin, and before that also worked with Jacko at Redback, etc. He's the guy running all the drill rigs on site. And Chris Borum, mining engineer, is our project feasibility manager, looking at all the options. How do we take this project forward? How much is open pit? How much is underground, etc., etc. So as I said, we put the new resource statement out on Monday and lifted basically Northeast Bankan from 3.3 to 3.9 million ounces at a 0.5 cut-off. And this is the exciting part. You can see in that diagram, you can see the previous pit shell using the same parameters. It's gone down now well over another 200 metres. And then below that, you can see the small bit of underground resource coming through from that area. And this is the other thing. Below that, earlier in the year, we drilled hole number 113, which is 1.2 kilometres down plunge. Obviously, for obvious reasons, it's not part of a resource. But from that, we had an intercept of 24 metres at 5.5, including over 11 metres at 10.4 grams per tonne within that intercept. So it shows there's a lot more potential further down, 1.2 kilometres down plunge. This is just showing the optimised shell. The first one is showing the low grade and medium grade, and the second one, the red area, is showing that high grade plus 7 gram area that exists within the resource within Northeast Bankan. I spoke about this as well, Esg and sustainability. It's an important part, and it's something that explorers, before they even start moving into development, need to do and need to address. And we have done that ourselves. As soon as I moved into the MD role, we basically developed an ESG action plan in conjunction with an ERM company, Critical Resource, out of London, so that we could help take this project forward. And Sandra is the chair of the ESG committee for the board. As I said, Andre's joined us as well. We have ERM, we have Insuco in Guinea doing population and social studies in the area. We have Biotope from France and Guinea doing all the rapid environmental assessments on the ground, and we have the Critical Resource team out of London overseeing all this work. And we've commenced all the work moving forward on that, also involving interaction with the Government of Guinea, the Minister of Mines, Minister of Environment. We've done the rapid environmental assessment, etc. And now we're doing the baseline studies across the area, doing wet season studies, dry season studies, key stakeholder agreement. All of that work is underway as we progress through while continuing to drill and develop the resources. As I said before, we've done the rapid ecological assessment, we've developed the risk and commitment registers, we've got the key stakeholder engagement plans underway, and which all goes into part of our ESIA, which is part of the application. It has to be included for when you go to submit for a exploitation licence, or as they call it in Guinea, a convention de base. That's a critical part. It's not just pit designs, cash flows, etc. It's also the ESIA is a key part for putting that application in. And all going to plan, we expect we'll be submitting that application at the end of next year. And the important thing with all the environmental social studies, you have to have a minimum of 12 months worth of data. So we will, at this stage, we'll have a good 18 months worth of data. And that's why I highlight to junior explorers, don't forget about doing this work earlier on, because the more information you have, the much easier it is to progress forward. Now, about Bankan, Bankan sits in the Siguri Basin. You can see where it's highlighted. It's just to the south of the Siguri gold mine in Guinea, which has been operating for well over 20 years. And then there's Norgold's Leifa mine, also it's just south of that. Nearby we've got Sycamore's Canero gold mine, and Hummingbird is currently 8 kilometres away developing the Carusa gold mine. So quickly looking, quick overview of the Bankan project. There's two areas. There's Northeast Bankan, that is the main part of a resource that we have there in Guinea, and then just 3 kilometres away over to the left we have Bankan Creek. And what is interesting, we also have 30 kilometres of along this northeast running trend, but we also have to explore. So we've got aggressive drilling programs in place. We've got nine drill rigs operating at the moment. We've got straightforward metallurgy, as I said, conventional crush grind, CIL, and up to 90%, up to 50% gravity recovery. Again, this is showing northeast Bankan. Again, you can go through and you can look at all those grades of that high grade section going down. There's 5 metres at 10, 27 metres at 5, 24 at 18, 41 at 5, etc. You can see there's a continuous core zone to this northeast Bankan project. And then below that, we have hole 113 that is outside of any resource, another 300 metres further down. So it shows it's a strong, continuous structure that is certainly going to deliver a lot more gold. Bankan Creek is 3 kilometres away. Bankan Creek's got slightly different geology. It's showing skarn mineralogy. Now that's not unusual in Guinea, across on this side of the Seguri Basin. At the Leifa mine, just away from the main deposits, there was a ferroforini deposit, which I discovered with some of the other geos up there, and that was a skarn deposit as well. But again, no tricky metallurgy in there, conventional CIL type recoveries. And we'd always expected that would be a starter pit because it has higher grades at surface than what northeast Bankan has. So as I've spoken about this already, straightforward and simple metallurgy. We did the initial met test work over a year ago, and we've done more on the deeper stuff, deeper, higher grade, what will potentially be underground material, and we're seeing the same results. The only thing we have seen is an increase in the gravity recovery, which went from an average of 30% up to 50%. So free milling, good recoveries, so a simple crush grind processing type circuit. Now, people ask me a lot about Guinea. Guinea actually has a very, very strong mining culture. You've had Seguri, you've had Leifa operating for well over 20 years. Guinea is one of the biggest bauxite exporters in the world. Guinea knows and understands mining at all levels and is very, very supportive. We have very good relations with the government of Guinea, the Minister of Mines, the Minister of Environment and Sustainability. In fact, the Minister for Environment and Sustainability, she's been up to site twice. She's also been actively involved in all the flora-fauna studies that we're doing on the ground, the social studies. They are actively involved in the work that we do, which will be part of the submission for the Convention to BAS, the mining exploitation licence. And obviously, you know, Northeast Bankan is sitting in, it's 18 kilometres away from the Upper Niger National Park. Around that national park, we have 2 boundaries. There's an inner buffer zone and then there's an outer buffer zone. Now, Northeast Bankan sits in that outer buffer zone, and that's why this work is so important, so that we can work on excising that area from the Upper Niger National Park. And that's not unusual for Guinea. Guinea has done that before. It's doing it now for the iron ore miners on the Semendu Ranges, the bauxite mines as well. In fact, Andre, his last job, he excised an area from another national park in the core zone. So you do it right, present it well, the government will support you. So we've got Bankan project. You can see northeast Bankan there. Everything to the north of that is out of the buffer zone of a national park. There's 35 kilometres of trend along that area. Again, there's been early stage geochemistry work done that's for gold, and there's been a little bit of air core and air core drilling done across that area. And those circles have highlighted other areas along that trend that need further exploration, exploring, which will also happen in parallel with the 9 drill rigs that are really focusing on northeast Bankan and Bankan Creek. And what's most interesting about these areas, the multi-element work, it's been assayed for gold, but there hasn't been much in the way of multi-element geochemistry done. We're getting that work underway, also across northeast Bankan, so we can then prioritise these target areas for those that have the same signature as what northeast Bankan, to explore those ones first before the ones that have a different signature from northeast Bankan. If they all come out the same, then we'll work on what's closest to the mine and progress that regional exploration whilst we're continuing to work on Bankan and northeast Bankan. So really, the investment highlights. This is, you know, West Africa's next tier 1 gold mine. 4.2 million ounces. It is inferred at this grade. At this stage, the grade is lifted from 1.55 to 1.65. Drilling, 9 rigs on site, opportunity to increase drilling further. So we are well positioned to become Guinea's largest gold producer in the next 5-6 years. And we have the full backing of the government of Guinea. We've got the team in place. We've got the team in place to explore, develop and build and run this project. With that, I'd like to say thank you.
Thank you very much, Andrew. We've just got 30 seconds left, so I think we'll pause on questions. And again, Andrew will be around this evening if anyone would like to talk to him about Predictive, this exciting, emerging, potentially Tier 1 discovery. Well done. Thank you.
Right, thank you very much.